So good morning, everybody. This is Brendan Provolenko with OutBack Power, and I am going to just wait a few more minutes because I see that we still got people trickling in, and so we'll just wait a couple more minutes, and then we'll go ahead and begin the webinar. Okay, well, I'm going to begin. So good morning, everybody. This is Brendan Provolenko. I'm Vice President at OutBack Power Technologies, and today we're going to be talking about innovative solutions for disaster recovery. And it's really timely because right now we are just beginning the Disaster Preparedness Month, which is June, and June 1st was the first day of the hurricane season. I've seen a lot of articles talking about this season going to be particularly bad. I've also saw some AI from IBM that suggested it wouldn't be so bad. In either case, preparedness is something that we all need to do. And, you know, in thinking about what OutBack Power does and what we specialize in and the cool partners that we work with, I wanted to show something a little bit unique. And this partner that we've worked with and were introduced to by Simpliphi Power earlier this year really created something different, unique, mobile, and just what I thought was super cool. So what I've done is invited Jose Garrigo to discuss and present Sesame Solar, which is a company out of Ypsilanti, Michigan, and they have a unique solution to talk about today. And just for a matter of housekeeping, if you have a question, you can type it in the question box, or you can raise your hand. And if you raise your hand, I'll find a good time to click on it, unmute you, and let you ask your question. Okay, and with that, let me introduce Jose.
Thank you, Brandon. I am Jose Juan Garrigo. I am the Vice President of Sales and Marketing for a company by the name of Sesame Solar. We provide patent pending turnkey mobile nanogrids. They are ready to use solutions. They are islands. They are solution inside. We use a 20-foot ISO container, and we made it into whatever solution is needed for an application, from disaster relief to retail, industrial, or any other power solution off the grid. And we partner with OutBack Power in a brand new donation that that we did for Dominica, which we are going to be talk about on this webinar later on. First, I wanted to see if I could load
And
this.
Jose, you just got back from Dominica, didn't you?
I came back today at 2 a.m.
Oh, wow. Yeah. So you must be absolutely beat from that trip.
It was 10 days of extreme heat and extreme. I don't seem to be able to open the application.
Yeah, I know. Let's see if we'll try it one more time.
Okay.
Okay, well, what this is a cool interactive 3D visual that allows you to review the entire container that Sesame Solar provides and change. I'll put all the different variations in so that it shows how modular and all the different applications that you could do. So it's kind of like choosing a car, and you could work to change. Is this you want this container to be ready as an office or as a first aid room or as a communication center, and it has all those different options, so you could really interact with it. And what we'll go ahead and do is send it out to everybody afterwards as a link so that you can interact as you'd like. But it is really cool to take a look at, and I'm sorry I couldn't make that work today, Jose.
I'm sorry, it was working before, but I'm sure there's a direct link. It should work for all of them, and then you can play. And basically, it's a way of opening the minds to all the solutions that may be applicable to Sesame Solar Nanogrid. As we say, the solution is inside. We have developed many applications, not only for disaster relief, for communications, for retail, for medical needs. We are working with the UN on different medical applications, and with many other agencies and private business. Um, and we hope that we will become one of those solutions going forward for disaster recovery worldwide. So, given that, let's move into the next slide, which is uh, I think okay, right now. Here we go. We just partnered, as Brandon was mentioned. I just came back from Dominica. We just delivered disaster recovery solar nanogrid to the island of Dominica. That's the Commonwealth of Dominica, not Dominican Republic. Dominica is a small island nested between Martinique and Guadeloupe, and is home for about 72,000 inhabitants, and is extremely hilly and extremely forgotten. It's the only island that still has a native tribe of Carib Indians. That's how isolated it was, and it's mostly populated by former slaves that escaped from both islands, both in the north and in the south, Martinique and Guadeloupe, trying to find freedom and a new home. Um, is so is so remote and is so difficult to reach that their only working airport right now is in the north part of the island, and the capital is in the south. It took us 2 hours of going up and down mountains on roads that have been in some parts washed out and barely fits a truck through the passages to be able to reach the island. It was a trip that I will never forget. But
We've been sending people every month down to Puerto Rico, and it's always a challenge getting there and certainly getting products over there. I can imagine that you're running into the same difficulties in Dominica, but just, exponentially more difficult, being that it's such a smaller island with a far fewer population.
yes, and there is not a piece of flat land in the entire place. Is amazing how they carve out all the mountains, and still they're all happy. They'll go on with their lives. Um, but they're fearful right now that the next season, the next hurricane season is coming.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and I think I showed you, but I interjected a couple slides in here just to show a little bit about the solution we put together inside of your container when you guys brought us into this deal. And I thought it was really cool to be invited by Lauren and Catherine from Simpliphi to talk about bringing all this into the ITUC for Dominica, and so I wanted to give a little bit of information on the systems we put together. So Simpliphi just has this super robust and modular battery that can be used, and I thought it was awesome that it was used in this application because it's such a small footprint and the weight of it is so minimal compared to lead acid. And for those of you that joined me for the Wildlife Conservation Network presentation on Tuesday, you would have saw this container that had 17,000 pounds of batteries on the left-hand side, and it was for incubation center and hatchery going out to Niger, and the weight of the batteries made this trailer tip as they were trying to load it onto the truck, so they had to balance it out with all these bags of concrete. It was a lot of work, but with batteries like Simpliphi, you don't have to worry about that. You can have more power and far less weight, and it fits just really, really well, so you can use space wisely. It's also super safe and I think easy to use as well. So we paired that with actually the Radiant inverter, and you'll see it in the application. But just kind of as a reminder to everybody, as we're presenting this, is we've been out here for about 17 years designing and manufacturing these robust, scalable power electronic solutions for the harshest environments globally. From I love cases like this where we're working with Sesame Solar, where we have these containers really going out into the worst case scenarios, right? These places where the hurricanes can hit, because the inverters can survive. Certainly when they're in that container, everything will survive in there, but they can survive on their own as well, and they're just that super robust product that's ready for the harshest environments globally. And putting all of these products, OutBack inverters with the Simpliphi battery and the Sesame Solar solution, it's just brilliant, as you guys will see in a minute. It all comes together to make this great robust solution that can prepare you for any event. So Jose, maybe you can tell us a little bit about what happened in Dominica and what we put together for Dominica.
Yes, of course. Basically, Maria came about, and you went straight through the island of Dominica with winds over 160 miles per hour. Lay flat the island. The river that goes into Russo, the main capital, it's like any capital. It has a river with 4 bridges. There was so much sediment and broken trees and things that the waters carry with it that it created huge dams and flooded the entire capital where 80% of the people live. And it created a complete devastation on an island, one of the poorest islands in the Antilles. Unfortunately, Dominica doesn't have much tourism. It doesn't have beaches or outside of their nature, beautiful nature and their mountains. And from then it went up and hit Puerto Rico from the east side, southern east side. So it was a complete devastation for the island. Lauren Flanagan, our chair, saw the devastation and contacted Virgin Unite. Virgin Unite is the nonprofit of Richard Branson, and with intention of see how Sesame Solar and our solution inside Nanogrids will help the people of Puerto Rico. Virgin Unite raised the point that Puerto Rico was in bad shape, but it was receiving some help. But there was one location in the Antilles that is historically and more now after the hurricane had been forgotten. It was not receiving the attention from the worldwide community as it was expected. And not only they are forgotten as an island, the Dominica has a marketing problem. There is a Dominican Republic. When you say Dominican, everybody thinks right away the Dominican Republic. A much larger location with nice tourism and which everybody visits and loves. Um, and nobody knows that it's an island with basically the same name, the Commonwealth of Dominica, that is just nested in the Western Antilles, in the Eastern Antilles, sorry. Virgin Unite put us in contact with ITUC. ITUC is the International Trade Union Confederation. They had pleads from their union in the island for help. They were completely destroyed. Everything was devastated. And we worked with them and worked with their local union called WAWU, and on how will be best serve the people of Dominica. Where should a solar nanogrid be placed? At the same time, we approach our providers for inverters, OutBack Power, and we presented the situation. We were looking to donate one of our units to the people of Dominica, and we invited OutBack Power and Simpliphi to join us on that donation, which they gratefully agree. Thank you, Brandon, and thank to Simplify for your components within the Nanogrid. Is a good part of the 150,000 donation that was shipped to Dominica. So, and
Hey,
that's
it was the pitch to me just and we get asked frequently for, as our products are so flexible to work in all these types of applications and they do so much good. We really try to focus on people that want to train people, really, to show them how it can work and get products out there. But after Hurricane Maria happened in gosh, it was late September to about early October. And, all the emphasis, all the focus was really on Puerto Rico. And I was so embarrassed to not even be aware of Dominica personally, right? I'm sure a lot of other people are. And hearing about how secluded that island is and what was going on over there, I definitely felt like we had a responsibility to do something. And when you have all these partners come together to make it so easy for you, it was really a pleasure to jump in and do that. And I think, Simplify was right there with us saying, yeah, we're in 100%. Let's do something for Dominica. So it was super cool, and I appreciate you guys inviting us to participate.
Thank you. It was cool for everybody. We invited many other folks. Direct relief. We transported medicines and medical supplies to the hospital in Rousseau for them. The Solar Nanogrid also provided. Through the kind organization and other organizations, Stone Farm and even a first robotics team in Michigan provided school supplies and toiletries, which were donated on June 1st to a school in Dominica. So it wasn't only the Nanogrid and the Sesame Solar Nanogrid with the disaster recovery solution inside. We provided additional furniture, additional items that will help the Princess Margaret Hospital and WAWU. WAWU is going to use the Solar Nanogrid for.
What's WAWU, Jose?
Is the Workers Allied Union, and I've been calling it WAWU for 6 months. I don't remember.
I'll look it up while you're talking.
Workers Allied Workers Union, I think so. There are two organizations, and their
Yeah, Waterfront and Allied Workers Union.
Allied Workers Union. Yes, Waterfront.
Okay.
Waterfront. They are basically all the poor workers, and then the transport as well for the island. Waterfront and Allied Workers Union. So let me talk a little bit about the solar nanogrid and what Sesame Solar does. Sesame Solar is patent pending solution. It uses originally a one-time ship ISO container, 20-foot container, which we heavily modified. We have the patent for the solution inside, which is all the panels, as you will see in the picture in front of you, are inside of the wings of the container, and we have a hydraulic system that is easily operational and open and closes the wing as needed. And on the picture depicted, you will see the final unit that was donated later on, but you can observe how the simplified and OutBack Power are placed on one of the sides of the container. That leaves us 75 square feet or slightly over 10 square meters of solution of application that we built inside. Okay, in this particular case, the unit has 34 kilowatts of storage, and the pre-wire Radiant series of OutBack Power for a 4.4 kilowatt solar array. Okay, let's see if we.
So those doors, the solar stays on the inside as you travel and ship, and then when you park that and put it in its permanent or even temporary home, then you can, because I guess it is a mobile off-grid solution, you could just open it up with the, is it a hydraulic push? Or I guess you're going to talk about some of the technical details of that later, aren't you?
Yes, but you're right. It's a hydraulic system. Is powered by the solar nanogrid, and is within less than 50 minutes, both wings are open, are closed. That's the original model. We have other higher array models that it will include additional panels on the roof or other flaps that are easily open. So everything is based on being turnkey solution. So when it leaves our factory, the solar nanogrid can be easily deployed and operated by any operating country, whatever it may be. You know, we had basically a couple of hours to train the people in Dominica on their operation, and they are fully using it without any issues. We are always looking for that ease of operation.
Very cool.
Okay, I don't seem to be able to move forward.
Oh, let me try it. How's that?
Okay, and here that's what I wanted to show you. Yes, a complete unit on the inside is if you go in the two pictures below, that's the panel. That's where just to give you a glimpse of where the batteries and the inverter is placed. It's all covered by aluminum wall, which is right behind the doors that you see on the picture on top right of your image. Is completely separated from the office quarters where people may use or work either disaster recovery, command, control, or this was also set up as a solution for people to find information, where to go, how to find their loves and relatives, and how to get emergency services. This location you will see is just outside the emergency entrance. So in case that the next storm, the hospital loses power, some support personnel can move into the nanogrid and provide information or process individuals in and out of the hospital. Okay, in the day-to-day issue, the day-to-day life, it will be used for educational purposes, for solar power and climate change instructions for the kids, for all the schools within Dominica, and it will be also be used by WAWU as a location where people can go and get trained or find employment.
Now, I know it's not disaster preparedness, but one of the cool solutions that Lawrence showed me was this container on the beach. It's got the wings up, so it's providing shade, and it has a bunch of bar stools on both sides, and all the drinks inside. So it's like a margarita station on the beach. And
I was living.
You know, that's a pretty good life. I think I could probably buy one of these and set it up somewhere and just plant my stake in the ground and call it mine. That's pretty cool, and it really shows the versatility of these type of solutions too.
Yeah, I was leaving the best for last, but you just.
Oh, sorry.
Yes.
It's been on my mind since I met you guys, you know?
Yeah, it's nothing like ending the presentation with a drink at the beach. So let me tell you a little bit about this transport. We completed the solar nanogrid and all the documentation and everything, and we loaded it for, we're talking about 3 weeks ago. It was loaded to departure. It was transported by land to the port of Fort Lauderdale, and then put on a special ship that there's one ship that tracks from Fort Lauderdale to Dominica once a week. This is here you have pictures of how it was loaded on an 18-wheeler on the way to Fort Lauderdale.
So now when I was there, we put in that we had the OutBack solution in there. All the batteries were installed, you know, but there was a lot of empty space in that container as well. Were you able to find some other products and donors to put in, you know, things that they can use over there, from water filtration systems or first aid kits or whatever?
Yes, you know, you have to see that inside of the solar nanogrid, you have the office that we were looking before. So all the furniture, all that equipment was there. This is the actual unit that was shipped, and then we used all the empty space, and that's where we transported the direct relief medicines, and we get the solutions for the school. So as you see, the solar nanogrid with all the donations inside was close to 15,000 pounds of goods inside. So it was much heavier than a regular nanogrid. One of the things that we strive is to use materials and make it as light as possible. So, for example, a disaster recovery unit can be transported by helicopter. We have a special one with the sides designed with aluminum, so it keeps the weight at 8,000 pounds and can be pulled up by any helicopter and dropped wherever is needed. Okay. In this case, it was packed as much as possible with all the donations.
Nice.
Okay. So The ship arrived to Dominica on December 29th. December 29th. I don't know when am I anymore.
Well, you got in at 2 in the morning, so we'll forgive you a little bit.
Thank you. May 29th. May 29th. It was Tuesday last week. And believe it or not, even though this was a donation to the Minister of Health and WAWU and everything was known, there is something called bureaucracy and paperwork.
Yeah.
So for 2 days, we were running around between the port, the hospital, and the Minister of Health, getting all the paperwork together. Everybody was helping, but there is a process, and the process had to be followed. And it's also an island nation, and things on the island tends to be run in a different pace. So right to the point that by Thursday we had all the paperwork, but then they couldn't find the nanogrid in port. And for 4 hours we were searching the nanogrid on a port that is the size of a football field. And they have been so well protected by somebody that I was behind another 15 containers. And
Wow.
they have built a wall protecting the nanogrid, and whoever did that, it wasn't at work that day. So finally, it was found, and it was placed on a truck for delivery. And we were so lucky that I don't seem to be able to move forward again. The truck just leaving port at 5 p.m. It broke down. So we had our solar nanogrid in the middle of the road, and broke down with a truck that had no hydraulics. So we work until the trucker, everybody, we work until 9 something at night. We were able to get the truck in working order, and the mile and a half that distance that we had from the port to the Princess Margaret Hospital was done, and we were putting in place at 10 at night in solar nanogrid on his resting area. Basically at 10:30 at night, we were using our iPhones, we were using anything to get light, so we could see where it was placed. So the little miracle happened, and it was deployed on Thursday for delivery to the Minister of Health on June 1st. And June 1st is, June 1st is, as Brandon, you mentioned, is the first day of hurricane season. So, here you have the Minister of Education, Son Jong, and the coordinator from the Minister of, the Secretary, the lady was the Secretary of the Minister of Health, and yours truly presenting the solar nanogrid to the people of Dominica. With that plaque was placed on the container, and illustrates and has all the organizations that supported this donation, including OutBack and of course Simpliphi.
Awesome.
So yes. So if you don't mind, I'm moving forward. We had that morning, we delivered at 10:30 at night. We couldn't see anything, so at 6 in the morning we opened and started moving the donations, and we were able to deliver boxes for direct relief to to the head of the pharmacy at the Princess Margaret Hospital, and we were able to have on a small ceremony, the press and a school from Dominica which we donated all the school supplies and toiletries that were donated by the kind organization Stone Farm and the first robotics team here in Michigan. Okay, and there you have in the pictures, you know, the Minister of Health, the representative from the school, and sorry, the Minister of Education, and Curtis Augustus, which is the president of WAWU. And that just happened Friday afternoon.
Wow.
Oops, he went over. He went over. Sorry. Sorry. I have a finger. So these are some final pictures of the Nanogrid, so the Sesame Solar Nanogrid. It was very telling. The Minister of Education saw it open, came to the office, was talking to me, and he said, you know, he loved the office, and then he went to the end of where the trailer, the container doors are, and he came back to me and said, "Is this a container?" He says, "I will never figure out that I was looking at a 20-foot container if it wasn't for the other doors." So he was amazed, and it amazed everybody when you open and close the door and see the office, etc. We were able to have a small ceremony, and then we cook some pancakes and macaroni and cheese. Coming from the U.S., we had to give them some U.S. flavor for the kids. And that's basically our adventure in the Dominica. Is a life-saving solution that as soon as all the equipment for communications are placed, it should provide you know, a solution inside, be an island by itself, fully sustainable, and ready to be operational at any time, both on a disaster or as a support piece. Okay, and that's basically what we see our Sesame Solar Nanogrids. The benefits is provides reliability when the grid is down. It's portable and mobile. You can transport it. It can be housed on top of a trailer and easily move. It's fully renewable energy, zero emissions, and as Brandon was saying, it expands economic opportunities. If you want to open a bar in some beach or location, we recommend you to use a Sesame Solar Nanogrid. Well, more important, security. One of the main issues and benefits that we have is that when the doors are closed, is locked, is secure. One of the main issues that the United Nations have on their camps for I will not say in Syria and other parts of the world for refugees is that at night their solar panels and their power generation equipment is stolen, and they have a challenge with that. One of the advantages of the Sesame Solar Nanogrid is that at night you can close it and it's secure. Okay, so we just went through most of the things. Basically is that once it's in place, in 15 minutes you are in business. Requires minimal training, and is turnkey. It should be working out of the box. So and we are proud that we made it here in Ypsilanti, in Michigan, and the components that we use is solar panels, etc., are US made. rapid setup. I can even operate it, and believe me, I'm not allowed to do many things in my house. Um, is the solution is inside. We have developed and designed many solutions that I'm gonna present it to you here. One is the office. You saw we created a model for Dominica for their needs. We have other office solutions that we have developed for construction companies, for mining camps, for many other applications. The main thing is that the solution is always inside. So we encountered a request, and we look for the solution that best serves them. These are the two drawings in the bottom are the retail solutions that have been requested for Africa, where people need to recharge and need to be available easily for recharge. And one of these units hopefully will reach South Africa soon. Um, but any imagination, especially a bar, here is Brandon.
Oh,
Here is
there you go.
here is your imagine. Solar Nanogrid can be placed anywhere. Opens, provide the instant shade, and inside there is you can have any solution. It's renewable power, and here we made it nicely. It's a juice bar, but you can change the pineapples for tequila bottles any day.
Yeah, no, I was thinking about that too, and just, you see these surfing competitions in these remote areas, and you could drop one of these nanogrids off with, either all the lifeguard equipment so that you could have that, or as a food truck if you wanted to get things in and out and prepared for all those competitions or whatever it is going on the beach or anywhere else in the world. So yeah, I could just see this a million different ways, and I think it's just a super cool solution. Now, the one we did for Dominica, that was a 20-foot container, correct?
They're all 20-foot containers. They're all based on 20-foot containers that we heavily modify. Um, uh, Due to the wing and span, etc., we only work on 20-foot containers that can be easily clustered if more solar power or additional space is needed. Okay. Uh, we have worked on we were talking about the solution. We are working with a couple of advertising companies that are looking to create campaigns for one is a microbrewery. They're creating, they're designing the solutions there, so the solar nanogrid can track, state fairs, concerts, and other events, and take them across Michigan, across the country.
Very
Okay.
cool.
So everybody has a need, everybody has a solution, and this is an extremely interesting solution. One of the biggest problems that we're facing with climate change is the access to water and access to clean water. And we have worked with three air-to-water manufacturers where we have solutions up to 3,000 liters a day, but in this case, what you're looking at it right now is a turnkey, completely turnkey solution that can be dropped anywhere, and is able to provide 300 to 600 liters per day of clean distilled water, ready to. It's so clean that they can be used for medical purposes. So, and that just eliminates the need of fuel and lowers the cost of creating water. And that water, by being from capture humidity from the air, eliminates and after passing through all the filters is is basically distilled water ready to be used for any purpose. So we are preparing one also for South Africa, for one of the providers over there of air-to-water equipment. So this is another situation. We have requests from Mexico and from other locations. They were looking for educational solutions and for remote areas, especially in areas that they don't have good connectivity, and they can have a classroom location where during the day it can be their let's call it their computer lab, their electronic library, and during the afternoon after school it can be used by the community. Right now Mexico is undergoing elections. It should be done by July, but we have requests from several state governors that we hope that stay in power, and we can provide that solution within the state of Guerrero, Jalisco, and other locations. They're really a really high. They have truly remote areas. They are maintenance situations, and they have problems with power and communications. And we also develop a charging station for electronic vehicles. We are working with a couple of manufacturers on the product that we are finalizing and its deployment in different locations. Maybe not for an urban environment, but for those situations where in the state parks, in federal parks, and in rest areas, in highways, etc., where a solar solution can be deployed and can provide another point of charge for hopefully the thousands and hundreds of thousands of electric vehicles that are going to be on the road soon. And yes, we provide an industrial solution. We were approached by many mining concerns and also from Puerto Rico that they needed more power. So we have created a 150 to 200 kilowatt hour solution that includes natural gas or propane gas generator and 50 kilowatts solar nanogrid. That combining both, we expect savings between 20 or 30% of fuel when power is not at its peak. And basically, I just wanted to close with the major things. We are a mobile, flexible, and durable solution that is basically simple and ready to use within minutes. And that's what we strive to find every time that we are approached with somebody that can use one of our solutions. We try to define, we try to design the best possible solution for them that it can be turnkey. It doesn't need field operators. As soon as it's dropped, within minutes, is providing a solution and is providing a service as needed. Okay. And here's a video. Do we have a time to see the video? It's about 4 minutes.
Yeah, I think we should give it a shot, and we'll wrap things up and ask for questions. So
Okay,
give it a shot, try to play it, see what happens.
Hurricane Maria hit Dominica at full Category 5 strength and showed no mercy. the entire country has been reduced to a debris field.
I'm Lauren Flanagan, and I'm board chair of Sesame Solar. And we make solar solutions for a variety of problems that just work out of the box. They can be set up in 15 minutes. When Hurricane Maria hit in the Caribbean, I was glued to my television like many people were and watching the Weather Channel throughout the day because I just thought, oh my gosh, this is going to be just devastating. I was, really thinking about it day and night. So it was haunting me, especially knowing we could help. We called some people who work for Richard Branson's foundation, Virgin Unite, and I actually met with Katie Hunt Moore, who does their community outreach. And we were initially looking that maybe we'd do something in Puerto Rico, but with her guidance, she sent us to Dominica. So the island of Dominica is in the Lesser Antilles, and it has about 72,000 people, and it was absolutely devastated after the hurricanes. They really needed some help, and she introduced us to the International Trade Union Confederation, known as the ITUC. So the ITUC is the world's largest trade union, and they protect workers around the world. And they're also really focused on climate change as a very significant issue. And they had people on the ground, and their office was destroyed in Dominica. And so we contacted our partners to see if they would join us in this donation, our strategic partners like Catherine Von Berg from Simpliphi Power, and Brandon from OutBack Power, and other organizations to help us put this together.
My name is Catherine Von Berg. I'm the CEO and president of Simpliphi Power. We design and manufacture efficient, non-toxic, and enduring energy storage management systems. We are all about empowering people and communities to have control over their own assets. And so we do not want financial resources to get in the way, especially in disasters. And so we're donating the batteries, and they will be included in the Nanogrid. The irony is that as we were preparing to ship these batteries out, suddenly we were shut down by our own disaster and without power. The entire town where we manufacture was circled by fire. The power was out, water was down, and our manufacturing plant had to evacuate and shut down for a solid week.
Whether it's fires or floods or hurricanes or typhoons, all of these things are going to be increasing if we don't address climate change. We're in the process now of building it and getting it ready to ship. Batteries arrived today. We're waiting for the OutBack inverter. Humanitarian aid is coming in every day. This week we will get the electronics installed. Next week we'll build out the interior, and it's going to be a disaster relief office. And we're also filling the Nanogrid with humanitarian aid.
We are the team, both of us. We are going to Dominica to install it, to see the faces.
See the excitement, and get to be there firsthand when everybody gets opened up and everybody sees it. Turn the power on and hit the levers for the hydraulics, and you're up and running.
Okay, that was a great video, Jose. I'm glad that we were able to show that. Now we just have a couple minutes left, and for how all of these systems work, the detail, how to size it, how to run it, how to maintain it, it's really in that inverter and the mate. And I think I just always want to invite people to attend our certificate training program so they can learn more about how these systems work and do it themselves when after say for example Sesame Solar leaves and you want to continue having that product run and be maintained. This is the course for you. It'll teach you everything you need to know. And that's it. So I want some time for questions, and Jose, we might go a couple minutes longer, I suppose. It's okay. And just let anyone raise their hand and we'll take you off mute to ask questions. But thank you all very much for your time.
Thank you.
All right, let's see. I think I have. All right. I don't have any questions yet.
I thought that it will be,
Oh,
we
looks
will
like
have some question about the bar.
Wendell has a question. Wendell, I'm going to take you off mute and let you ask your question. Wendell, are you there?
I am. Can you hear me?
I can.
Okay. Yeah, you were just talking about training. Do you have any of the OutBack training up there in Michigan or in the Midwest?
You know, I have a training facility in Phoenix and in Arlington, Washington, and that's right now we're looking at putting something in our Georgia facility, but we don't have one right now. So no, but you know, Sesame Solar is in Michigan, and you know, I don't know if they're prepared to provide a training, but they certainly could provide a tour and some insight on the installations.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I'm here in Ohio, and I thought if you were there in Michigan and have a good relationship with the folks there, you might consider having some training in the Midwest.
Yeah, we do have a road show that we do as well, and I have some distributors in Michigan for our products. This isn't a Sesame Solar containers training, but it would be through, let's see, in Michigan and Ohio. There's Warner Electric and McNaughton and McKay that are out there covering that area, and Photon Electric as well in Indiana that do a lot of trainings. But happy to send information out if you want to email me and let you know where we're going to be and when.
Thank you.
Sure. Okay, I'm just looking through, see if there's any other questions. And I don't see any, Jose. So thank you so much for your time. And I know after that trip back from Dominica and the time zones and travel, you must be just exhausted. But you really pulled it together today and presented this. And thank you so much. I really appreciate your time.
I appreciate the invitation, and you know, Sesame Solar is here to provide a solution any day. Just give us a call.
Awesome. All right. And with that, that's a wrap. Thank you very much, everybody. Goodbye.
Thank you.